Imagine a time of great upheaval and change. Ancient China in the 6th century BC was such a time. The once powerful Zhou dynasty was crumbling. Its authority was waning and rival states were vying for power. Warfare was common, and chaos reigned. Traditional values were eroding, and people were losing their moral compass. In this era of uncertainty and strife, a profound thinker emerged, destined to shape the moral and social landscape of China for millennia to come. His name was Confucius. Confucius was born in 551 BC in the state of Lu, a small state in eastern China. His birth name was Kong Chu, but he is better known as Confucius, meaning Master Kong. Despite his later influence, Confucius's early life was marked by hardship. His father, Kong He, a minor military officer, died when Confucius was 3. Raised in poverty by his mother, Yan Zhengzai, he developed a love of learning. She encouraged his pursuit of knowledge despite their difficult circumstances. His family background exposed him to the traditions of the ruling class. Confucius was a bright and inquisitive child with a thirst for knowledge. He excelled in his studies, especially in languages, history, and rituals. Despite his gifts, he was often excluded from opportunities available to wealthier children. This likely contributed to his empathy for common people and commitment to social justice. His humble beginnings instilled a strong work ethic and respect for learning. These experiences shaped his teachings on ethics, social harmony, and education. Although little is known for certain about Confucius's early education, it is clear that he was a product of his times. The disintegration of the Zhou dynasty and the social and moral decay had a profound impact on his thinking. The chaos and suffering he witnessed fueled his desire to find a path back to a more ordered and harmonious society. Confucius was drawn to ancient texts and traditions, believing they held the key to restoring order and virtue. He immersed himself in history, poetry, music, and ritual to understand and apply past wisdom to his time. Confucius believed knowledge was valuable only if it could improve the present. These experiences shaped his belief in the cultivation of virtue and wisdom for societal harmony. This conviction formed the core of his teachings and his mission to restore order and virtue to society. I don't think people understand the profound impact of Confucius's 5 constant relationships on society. Confucius believed that a harmonious and well-ordered society was not merely a utopian dream, but a realizable goal, attainable through the cultivation of right relationships. Central to his philosophy were the 5 constant relationships, a framework for ethical conduct that emphasized the interconnectedness of human society. These 5 relationships, ruler and subject, parent and child, husband and wife, elder sibling and younger sibling, and friend, formed the bedrock of social order. Confucius argued that within each relationship, there existed a natural hierarchy and reciprocal responsibilities. He stressed that these relationships were not about dominance, but about mutual respect, duty, and the pursuit of harmony. For example, the relationship between ruler and subject was not simply about obedience, but about the ruler's duty to govern with benevolence and justice, earning the respect and loyalty of the people. Similarly, the parent-child relationship was predicated on filial piety, with children owing respect and obedience to their parents, while parents were charged with providing love, guidance, and education. Confucius believed that by upholding these fundamental relationships, individuals could contribute to the well-being of their families and, ultimately, to the stability and prosperity of society as a whole. He saw these relationships as the building blocks of a virtuous society, where order and harmony flowed naturally from the proper conduct of its members. He taught that by embracing these principles, individuals could create a ripple effect of virtue, extending outwards from the family to the community and beyond. The noble pursuit of Ren, cultivating humanity and benevolence. At the heart of Confucius's teachings lay Ren, often translated as humanity or goodness. Ren was the defining characteristic of a noble individual, encompassing empathy and ethical behavior. It required self-reflection, education, and conscious effort. Confucius believed everyone could develop Ren, regardless of social status. He taught that Ren required compassion, respect, and striving to do what was right. Ren was summarized by the principle of shu, or reciprocity. This principle encouraged empathy and ethical decision-making. Ren was an active force for betterment of self and society. By embodying Ren, individuals could transform themselves and their relationships. Confucius believed a society striving for Ren would be harmonious and fulfilling. Ren was the key to unlocking human potential and creating a peaceful world. Section 3. Lie, the guiding force of ritual and propriety. Am I the only one that didn't know how crucial rituals are in shaping a harmonious society? While Ren represented the inner core of virtue, Confucius recognized that external guidance was also necessary to cultivate a harmonious society. This guidance, he argued, could be found in Li, a complex concept often translated as ritual, propriety, or etiquette. For Confucius, Li encompassed not only formal ceremonies and rituals but also the myriad customs, norms, and social conventions that governed daily life. Confucius believed that Li provided a framework for proper behavior, helping individuals to interact with one another in a respectful and harmonious manner. He saw these rituals and customs as embodying the accumulated wisdom of generations, providing a sense of order and continuity in a rapidly changing world. Through adherence to Li, individuals could demonstrate respect for tradition, honor their ancestors, and strengthen social bonds. However, Confucius emphasized that Li should not be followed blindly or become an empty shell devoid of genuine feeling. He stressed the importance of performing rituals with sincerity and understanding, infusing them with the spirit of Ren. He taught that true propriety stemmed not merely from outward conformity, but from a genuine desire to act with respect, consideration, and decorum. By adhering to Li with sincerity and understanding, individuals could cultivate a sense of order, respect, and harmony in their lives and contribute to the stability of society. Confucius believed that a society where Li was upheld would be characterized by civility, mutual respect, and a deep sense of shared values. He saw Li as the outward expression of an inner commitment to virtue, providing a framework for living in harmony with oneself, others, and the cosmos. Section 4. The path to self-cultivation, learning, reflection, and practice. Confucius believed that the pursuit of virtue was an ongoing journey of self-cultivation, requiring constant effort, reflection, and a commitment to learning. He placed great emphasis on education not just as a means to acquire knowledge, but as an essential tool for moral and intellectual development. He famously declared, "Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous." Confucius taught that learning should not be confined to the classroom, but should encompass all aspects of life. He encouraged his students to learn from books, from nature, from history, and most importantly, from one another. He believed that learning should be an active and engaging process, involving critical thinking, self-reflection, and a willingness to challenge one's own assumptions. Central to Confucius's approach to learning was the practice of reflection. He urged his students to regularly examine their thoughts, words, and actions, considering whether they were in accordance with the principles of Ren and Li. He believed that through honest self-reflection, individuals could identify areas where they needed to improve and strive to become more virtuous. Confucius recognized that knowledge without action was sterile. He emphasized the importance of putting learning into practice, translating knowledge into virtuous action. He believed that it was through the consistent application of ethical principles in daily life that individuals could truly embody Ren and contribute to the creation of a just and harmonious society. He saw the path to self-cultivation as a lifelong endeavor, requiring dedication, perseverance, and a willingness to learn and grow throughout one's life. A teacher without a classroom spreading wisdom through discourse. Confucius never sought to confine his teachings within the walls of a traditional academy. He believed that wisdom was meant to be shared widely, accessible to all who genuinely sought it. He envisioned a world where the pursuit of virtue and knowledge was not the exclusive domain of the elite, but a common endeavor, open to individuals from all walks of life. Embracing the role of a wandering teacher, Confucius traveled throughout the Chinese states, engaging people from all strata of society in thought-provoking dialogues. He welcomed anyone eager to learn, regardless of social status or background. He believed that everyone possessed the capacity for growth and transformation, and he tailored his teachings to meet the specific needs and aspirations of his audience. Confucius's method of instruction emphasized open dialogue and active participation. He challenged his students with probing questions, encouraging them to think critically and grapple with complex ethical dilemmas. He believed that true learning emerged not from passive absorption of information, but from active engagement with ideas and the courage to question established norms. His teachings were not meant to be a rigid dogma, but rather a flexible framework for ethical living, adaptable to the unique circumstances of each individual and situation. He encouraged his students to apply the principles of Ren, Li, and the 5 constant relationships to their own lives, seeking practical solutions to the challenges they faced while striving to become more virtuous individuals. His emphasis on dialogue, critical thinking, and practical application ensured that his teachings remained relevant and accessible to people from all walks of life. Wandering Statesman, A Quest for Ideal Rulers. Confucius dedicated himself to educating individuals and influencing governance. He believed Ren, Li, and the 5 constant relationships were key to a just society. He yearned for rulers to govern with wisdom and benevolence. With his disciples, Confucius journeyed across Chinese states, presenting his ideas. He shared his vision of an ideal ruler, leading by example. A ruler with righteousness and compassion would earn respect and loyalty. Confucius faced skepticism and resistance, but remained undeterred. He persisted, hoping to find a ruler to embrace his teachings. His ideas sparked debates and inspired generations to strive for just governance. The power of the written word, preserving teachings for generations. Confucius's disciples compiled his teachings into the Analects, ensuring his philosophy endured and shaped Chinese thought for centuries. Section 4. A legacy forged in service. Confucius as administrator and reformer. Confucius implemented his principles in governance, focusing on judicial reform, education, and improving citizens' lives. Section 1. The Inner Circle. A diverse group united by a shared vision. Confucius's diverse disciples engaged in debates, enriching Confucianism and spreading its transformative teachings. Section 2. Yan Hui, the Paragon of Virtue and Learning. Yan Hui, Confucius's exemplary student, embodied humility and virtue, leaving a lasting legacy despite his short life. Zhengzi, another prominent disciple, played a crucial role in transmitting Confucius's teachings to future generations. Zhengzi emphasized filial piety and self-cultivation, contributing significantly to Confucian thought. While Confucius laid the foundation for a new ethical and social order, it was his later follower, Mencius, who would become the most ardent defender and innovative interpreter of his teachings. Mencius expanded Confucianism, advocating for the inherent goodness of humanity and humane governance. Confucius and his followers, while deeply influential, did not exist in a vacuum. Critics challenged Confucian ideals, advocating for laws and punishments over virtue and benevolence. The most formidable challenge to Confucianism came from the legalist school of thought, which emerged as a powerful force during the Warring States period. Legalists argued for strict laws and punishments, viewing human nature as inherently selfish. While legalists challenged Confucianism from a position of order and control, Taoism offered a different kind of critique, one rooted in a profound skepticism of human attempts to impose order on the natural world. Taoists emphasized aligning with the Tao, advocating for natural harmony over human-imposed order. Despite facing challenges from competing schools of thought and the turbulent political realities of the Warring States period, Confucianism demonstrated remarkable resilience. Confucianism became deeply ingrained in Chinese culture and governance, influencing ethical thought and cultural values for generations. Confucius lived in a time of turmoil and transition, marked by political instability and social upheaval. From this emerged a philosophy that shaped China's moral and intellectual landscape for millennia. His teachings, rooted in humanity, virtue, and harmony, offered a vision of a just society. Though he never saw his ideals fully realized, his ideas transformed Chinese society. Confucianism became the bedrock of Chinese culture, shaping its institutions and social norms. His teachings influenced Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and other East Asian societies. Confucian values like respect for elders and social harmony became deeply ingrained. Even today, Confucius's teachings offer wisdom amidst globalization and social change. His emphasis on ethical leadership and social responsibility resonates with contemporary concerns. Confucius's legacy is a living tradition, shaping lives and inspiring moral action worldwide.